Hello, hello, hello. This is your message from the universe for 9/6/2020. This is the rune Inguz. Inguz is the rune of fertility. It is the rune of new beginnings. It is the rune of a completion of a cycle. And in this reading, we're really talking about finishing the beginning, completing your beginning stage. And when we take this in conjunction with the readings from the last few weeks, really with it over the last week, it's been talking about how things as they are now have to change for things, new things to come in. For your future to look different, your present has to start to look different. And that's really what this Inguz talks about for some. It talks about making those changes in your personal life, making those changes in your habits, maybe in the way that you speak to yourself, maybe in the way that you speak to others, maybe the people in your life, whatever it is that needs to change from this life to the next version of your life. This Inguz talks about that happening here. And it speaks of the fact that it is crucial to do so at this time, that these delays, these frustrations that you've been running into, not understanding what's going on, being worried about what comes next, all of this in your passion project, all of this finishing the beginning, completing the beginning, even if that is just setting your mind. It might be filing the paperwork for your business. It might be finishing the business plan. It might be completing your step-by-step outline of what you're going to do. It might be making the choice to change the way you think and really solidifying that. It might be finally kind of making a decision of what direction you're going in. And remember, it doesn't matter which way you choose. Any way you choose is correct because you'll learn something on the way. So in this reading, it's really addressing that. It's talking about your passion project. It's talking about that thing that you've been working on, whether it's an external thing or an internal thing. It speaks to the delays and the frustrations that you've had and pushing those to the side because it is time to take action. We know that the Hanged Man in this side talks about be patient and use the delays to your benefit. Well, it's reversed now. It's reversed now, and it's ready for you to take those things that you learned in those pauses and push yourself forward and move yourself forward on this journey. It speaks about remembering that this is fun, remembering that it is joyful. It talks about reminiscing, and it talks about people from your past, and it talks about that sort of thing, but it also says letting go. So this Six of Cups together with this Nine of Wands can talk about letting go of the old way of doing things and remembering the joy that you have had in your life, remembering the joy maybe of your childhood or of when you were doing something that you really loved, and using that energy to propel you forward, because you are on the precipice here, or you are in the midst of this cycle of growth, of this cycle of life. We have this Moon card, which often talks about anxiety, separation, and those sort of things, but it also connects to your intuition. It also connects to that space in you that sees the vision so clearly, that sees the vision of your passion project so clearly. So really be focused on that moon energy. And this is happening over a week where we've had a very powerful full moon energy. And I've gotten the moon several times this week, although it's usually over in this position. So really lean into your own intuition to release the separation, to release the anxiety, and to embrace that passion project, to embrace that thing that you love, to embrace that thing that brings you joy, right? Because the Wheel of Fortune is always spinning. The Wheel of Fortune is always spinning. And like I said, This Wheel of Fortune can go in any direction, and no choice is a wrong choice. No choice is incorrect. It may lead you down a path that you don't want to go down. It might take you somewhere where you are hurt or betrayed. It might take you somewhere where you fail. But you learn from that. And whatever road you are taking is the road you need to be taking based on the thoughts you're having, the way you interact with others, the preparation that you have done. Maybe you needed to learn that you didn't file the right thing and now you have to start over. Maybe you needed to learn that you can't just trust anyone with your money. Maybe you needed to learn that that person already burned you once. Don't let them back in to burn you again. There's a lot of space here for us to make our own mistakes. We are a free will planet. And so we get the opportunity to make all kinds of ridiculous mistakes. And yet they are wonderful because this is where we grow. This is where we grow from. So the Wheel of Fortune is always spinning, and you are the one who determines where it lands, to a point. Now, one more thing on this. Many of you do have that worry, that fear, that anxiety. Every single one of these cards talks about being worried about this. You can change your perspective on worry from worry to being prepared. From worry to being prepared. So rather than making lists of all the things that could go wrong and asking what if you took those questions and you turned them into, I'm preparing for all outcomes. If you just shifted the way that you think about it and the way that you say the things in your mind, you change the energy around that busy mind of yours into being something productive, into using it for positive. So if you're thinking about a move to go off to school or something like that, and you're constantly, I don't know how I'm going to make ends meet. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know where I'm going to get furniture. I don't know how I'm going to live. How am I going to get around? That's worry. That keeps you stagnant, and it keeps you in a constant state of flux where you are attracting things that are your worst nightmare, because wondering that usually the worst case scenario comes up. But if when the question comes up, I don't know where I'm going to live, you can immediately begin to prepare for that. Well, let's see, I'm going to need a place that's going to be close to where I'm going to be doing this business or where I'm going to be going to school, and I would like for it to be a 1-bedroom because it's just me, or a studio is fine. I could even stay in a hotel room that has a weekly thing. Let me do some research on that and figure that out. How am I going to make ends meet? Well, I'm sure that I would have time to do 10 hours a week, and maybe I could do a passive income thing. Like, instead of worrying, prepare. And just by shifting the energy of what if to, well, these are some options for me. Even if you don't use any of those options, you shift the energy around it into one of solution-based energy rather than one of problem-based energy. Complete the first step of your journey. It is time for you to stop overthinking and to step into doing. You are beloved, you matter, you are loved.